Hello everybody, Sil here, bringing you StarCraft 2 1v1 versus between me, and our blue Protoss over here, Aurelia. This is my first StarCraft 2 cast, and as you can no doubt guess by our current APM, we are not Master League South Koreans. Quite the opposite. Yeah, this is actually Bronze League footage, where I still am, just because I do not play enough. But, you know, I love StarCraft, and I figured I'd post a commentary, see if y'all like it. I watch a lot of StarCraft commentary of pro players, so I tend to know the builds. See, that's one thing I need to really emphasize when playing StarCraft is you can't expect pro builds from Bronze League players, because they're just going to do whatever the hell they want, and it really screws up your build, because they're going for the quick rushes and everything. Yeah, see me love. And it really screws around, and that's one thing I need to emphasize. If you're new to StarCraft, you're like me, I mean your APM's 21 on average, you know, you're not the greatest South Korean in the world, or Canadian. I recommend not watching as many replays as I do, because I'm going to be perfectly honest, you're just going to learn a bunch of things that won't help you until you reach the same level of plays that you're watching. Honestly, look, nobody at Bronze really does that. You'll get six pooled, you'll get, you know, God, you get 7 gated. I don't even know some of these builds. I mean, they don't have names. It's just, let's make crap happen. And you're unprepared if you're going a legit. Okay, let's look at me. Just check it. As you can see here, this is an older replay because it doesn't have the little hider for the times. If you do know this match, it's very long. Which just goes to show you how horribly bad I am. Now this is something that I would probably never see a pro player. So I'm gonna do a little spoiler, is that the Protoss player goes for this goal before a natural. It's not this goal they go for, it's this one over here. See? And you know, it was a little confusing to me to find that. I went Tech Lab. It just seemed like the best thing to go. An early Marauder, I knew that there wasn't going to be anything coming at me really fast. I was extremely right, seeing as how she has yet to even begun to produce a unit to attack me. Also, on a side note, due to this person's avatar, I've grown into the habit of referring to it as a she. So, get used to that. Oh, look at him, isn't he sexy? So, you now see her doing this with the cannons. You know, honestly, for some reason I don't feel static defenses are as great as they could be in StarCraft 2. The bunker is good, I guess, but at the same time, things like the cannon and the spine crawler for Zerg, it just seems like they're not flushed out, right? And you see me get my stim pack. At this point, I've completely forgotten any sort of build or specific layout, and I'm just winging it, since there hasn't been a scouting pro yet, I don't think. Has she seen me? Like, what has she seen of my base? She doesn't even know where I've spawned, which is kind of, yeah, I mean, even I scouted, and this is something I cannot stress enough as a lower level player, you need to scout. And this is probably one of the main reasons I'm still in Bronze League, is I don't scout enough, because I'm a very turtle-ish player. I don't like having to move out early. I don't like having to deal harassment, but I know StarCraft's all about that. Now, see, this player is really confusing, because now we're, what, 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in, and they have yet to create an attacking unit. All they've created is photon cannons. Yes, all I've made is Marauders, but still, that's something, right? And as you can see, she's using the cannons to take this debris for a Nexus, whereas I'm gradually just, you know, turtling up the way I do. It's a bad habit to turtle. I understand the need for it. I may post another gameplay after this where I have some really good Terran versus Terrans where it shows the Destiny Cloudfist build. If you watch Husky StarCraft, you'll know what that is. It's basically, you, as a Terran, you get your bunker, your factory, and then you get a starport all in a row. It really opens up a ton of builds. It's probably the best build I end up playing, strictly because I am able to adapt quickly to whatever I find my opponent doing. It really lets me stay on the ball. If I need Marines, I can go Marines. If I need Marauders, I can go Marauders. If I'm like, oh crap, I need Hellions, I better get that Siege Tank fast. Or, oh god, I see a Brew Lord, Vikings. It's really just good, I would have to say. Now see, here's something that, you know what, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Protoss people do not follow this woman's example. Not because she's a woman, but strictly because, one, she never got an attacking unit. We're now almost 10 minutes into the game. If I was scouting with my freaking Marauders and I was using the scans here, I would have taken out the cannons, I would have walked up through here, I would have just ravaged her base. But since I am such a defensive player that I let the enemy get the upper hand when it comes to creating, I let them manage to get an army when honestly I could have prevented it. You see her upgrading now, Protoss Shields 1, while I'm making some Marauders. And this is something I can't stress enough. Don't try a build like this in silver, gold, platinum, diamond. I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm a copper, bronze league, whatever the hell you want to call it. But she went straight starport with even a Zealot. She does not have a Zealot to her name. Let's check units. I have 9 Marauders, 18 SCVs, 1 Mule to 24 probes. Yes, I should have more SCVs. I'm also quite bad at my SCV production. But that's not so much a turtle thing. That's just because I've never been good at it, not even back in the Brood War days. Yeah, I'm not the best StarCraft player to learn from. I'm going to be directly honest from that. So don't learn from this in that I'm showing you how to play. Learn that I'm showing you how not to play. Though they will see me win the occasional match, there are times where I don't know how, but if I'm going a normal build, like, you know, an 8 racks or a 9 racks, 10 racks, supply depot, you know, the normal Terran build I would see in a Master League, you know, video, and then I find the opponent has 4-gated within the first 5 minutes of the game, and I'm like, what? And I've lost. I don't know how bronze players do it, but some of them are able to get a ridiculous amount of units on the field very quickly. Now you see my opponent chrono boosting like mad to get probes here because she's managed to wall off this completely to the point where she can't transfer probes from the main down to her expansion. Now you now see me going for my expansion. I noticed that, you know, for all I know, she hasn't seen me, and let's check. She has not. She is still completely unaware of where my base is. And I now have medevacs and my dropships. Basically, this entire match is me going Marauder harassment and dealing damage economically to her going, for the most part, carry. As you can see, she canceled her Void Rays and went straight carrier. I don't know if I'd recommend that to players. Like, if she was fighting a normal Terran player, she would have already lost. The Terran player would have stomped up here the second stim pack was completed, a timing attack. He would have probably at that point 15 Marauders, all with stim, maybe a medevac or 2, which would be enough to heal through these cannons. And if you actually put the medevacs up here and hit from the low ground, it would probably actually, they'd target the medevacs and it would spare you some damage. Pretty much, well, if she was playing anyone but me, she would have lost 8 minutes ago. But since I'm such a slow player, it's in my nature to allow my opponent to get ready for whatever I have to throw at him. And as you can see, she's getting ready by building her first attacking units of the game, and that's carriers. Now you can see my current APM jumps randomly. APM, you know, I'm not that hardcore into it because yes, the Koreans have a crazy APM, and yes, I overpulled SCVs away from here, and that's a bad thing. You should not do that. You should always be careful how many SCVs you're sending away, and you should be careful of how many you're producing. As you can see, my SCV count has not really gone up. And look over here, now I see this for the first time, and I lost a medevac. I did not know I lost a medevac there. That was awful. Now seeing me dropping the Marauders, standing in, probes are dying everywhere. She has not yet reacted to this. And I'm using the Marauders to do as much economic damage, and I'm going to take out the turret in range 10, and then I'm going to snipe the Nexus. Now you see, once again, this is low level play, right? So you're not going to see us doing the things I would like to see us do. Now I'm going to try and run away from these carriers. I'm sure that's not going to work, just given how fast they are. But this is sort of like what an attack would be. Now I managed to take out the gold expansion, and as you can see, we're now tied again. That's mostly because I'm making less SCVs. Now you can see I'm killing even more of these little pro bastards, and her money is just gradually. She is almost running out of pro. This is the only way I managed to stay in this game for the most part. My opponent is now down to 2 pros in their entire fleet. And I almost managed to snipe the main Nexus, but third carrier joins the fray, and the Marauders die in a bout of doom. And now you see the 3 carriers on the field. Now see, this is also a bad thing she did. After managing to kill my army like that, she should have moved out and started dealing damage. Instead, she stayed back and kept producing carriers, which let me react to seeing carriers, which I mean is, in my mind, the only thing that I can compete with that is a Viking. Is my anti-air units, Vikings, Thors. I'm not sure if I get Thors in this match. Probably not. I don't remember Thors. I remember using the Marauders to my absolute fullest in making sure she does not keep an expansion. Carriers are expensive as crap to maintain, and if you start shooting out their little interceptors, then they become that much more expensive, because each interceptor costs how much? In StarCraft 2, 25 and 8 seconds. So every 2 interceptors she makes is a probe she doesn't have. And given the fact that it's now 9 probes to 22 SCVs, well, mules included, you can see I now have an economic advantage. Let's look at our income. I have over twice. I should have a lot more at this stage in the game, but once again, my macro is lacking in a lot of fields. But as you can see, I managed to rebuild medevacs, rebuild Marauders, pump out some Vikings. And you see her dropping the Warp Prism to recapture this expansion for the high yield. Now, I mean, I've never seen a player just go for a high yield expansion like this. I probably wouldn't recommend it to everyone. This map is very peculiar just for this backdoor natural. I've actually played on this map where I was spawning here and my opponent was spawning over here, and he had pretty much cut the map in half with expansions. He was a Zerg player, and I was Protoss, but I had actually managed to steal his backdoor natural, and he never took it. And it was the most bizarrest match ever, in the fact that I could have won over 100 times, but once again, I'm such a turtle, I just don't do it. For anyone who knows me intimately, you'll know that I am a turtle in every possible way when it comes to RTSs. And I don't know what you're doing, but you look cozy by your house with your turret, a little bit of minerals. And the audio just went all funky. I'm not sure how well this is recording. Fraps does not seem to be doing that great. It should be fine, though. I mean, I couldn't understand any reason why it wouldn't be. just looks like there is lag. There is lag. Why is there lag? Did that help? No. One sec. Let's try lowering the graphics from ultra to high. Oh, there we go. God damn. Okay. So you will not see any more StarCraft 2 replays from me in Ultra, for it apparently lags the crap out of my fraps. Though I am recording on a high-def screen, so hopefully you'll still be able to see in 720p, and you'll be able to see it and enjoy it. And this dude's chilling out, you know, in the bunker, just watching some porn, having himself a good time. Now let's see, units. She is still not back up in probes, but as you can see, I've only replaced the 2 mules I had with SCVs. You'll also find that I'm a person who uses his scans more than he'll use a mule. I'm aware of pretty much everything going on in her base, and I am also aware that she tried to recapture this. I am, however, not aware, to my knowledge, of the cannons. So let's see what's going to happen. Because once again, 4 medevacs, each with 4 marauders. To lose that, I mean, that is costly. That is units lost. As you can see, I've lost more. But economically, I think I had an advantage throughout the majority of it. Let's see where these are going. I am still learning the powers of this. So, forgive me if I'm a little slow on anything. This is my first replay cast. Forgive me, comment if any of you have any helpful tips. Not for my gameplay, I know where I'm lacking in that aspect. But any helpful tips on the recording. And why the hell did it manage to go down? There we go. Hopefully I'm not going to have to drop the specs again. Now if I was any sort of genius, I would drop 2 of the dropships here, use them to take these out, while moving 2 of the dropships up and around onto the main, so that when all the carriers react to my attack, I would be able to pretty much, well, devastate her. But I suck, so that's not going to happen. And once again, you see marauders swimming and being healed a good half of a full page. And you see the carriers arrive a lot quicker. Her reaction time is far faster this time. And once again, I have no anti-air. You see the absorber in the army. I didn't notice that. But once again, you managed to see me snipe the Nexus. Once again, I am not letting her get this expansion off. Tried to move her probes, but I managed to kill one of them before I lose my army. So losses. Once again, I've lost more, but let's look at the income. She's at 120 to my 600. So once again, the income really shows the full force of my attack. Now you see me pumping out Vikings like a beast. Do I have any upgrades for these, or did I ever even get an armory? It does not look like I got an armory. I am sorry. Forgive me. Now you see me doing something which probably isn't the best thing to do, but I have a habit of doing. When I notice I have unspent resources, and if my opponent is going mass air, I will create walls of turrets as a mineral dump. And yes, you should probably never have things to dump minerals in at a pro level of StarCraft, but even if the carriers are attacking these outside of their range, these will shoot down interceptors like mad, which will mean the player will constantly need to spend money to create new interceptors, which can be spent on newer and better things. And at the same time, you see me pumping out medevacs, marines, and an SCV. See how good my macro is going. Oh, I've managed to get 3 more SCVs in the time we last checked this tab. And action per minute, you notice my average has gone up quite a bit. I'm one of those players who will honestly let his action per minute drop to 0 just because I'm waiting for things to make and I'm trying to save resources to buy something specific. I have no problem letting my APM pick 0. It does not reflect my penis in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, during a fight, when I try micromanaging my units, you will see my APM break 120 I think the highest I've hit is around 150. It doesn't last long, usually because my army doesn't last long. I'm pretty sure that I move out with these and a drop, and I'm pretty sure that it's a complete and utter bust due to a failure on my part. I'm pretty sure that I managed to half select them and move them out and end up just wasting an army of Vikings. Let's see. Production. Oh, I'm finally getting some upgrade. Terran Infantry 1, which is good, because let's see. Right now I have attacks 1, nothing for flying. She has, what does she have? She has armor 1, shields 1. Where are her carriers? Any attack 1? Attack 2? Or is that how many she has? No, attack 2. Okay. And you'll see here she's actually destroying her own photon cannons just to make room for probes. That is, she is constantly spending money. Now see, throughout this entire game, my opponent is constantly spending money rebuilding probes and nexus and turrets and pylons. That was pretty much what managed to win me the match, is that I had crippled the economy and I still was able to make money. I eventually managed to capture this, and though I'll admit I get pretty much well decimated by her carriers, I do manage to hold my own enough that in the end she had, I think, maybe 3 probes on the field with 13 minerals, and all of her carriers were destroyed. It was just brutal. So now you see me, I have my Vikings out. I wouldn't call this map control. I suppose if you have Vikings, you should space them out a little bit, get a 1 all over the place, just to see what your opponent's doing. And I'll admit I didn't do that, but let's also check this. At this stage in the game, she has still not scouted me. We are now almost 30 minutes into this game, and my opponent still doesn't know where I've spawned. Though I guess she could assume I'm over here.
Complete.
I assume she can guess I'm not over here just because she would see a building or units coming down here. But at the same time, she doesn't know if I'm over here. As a Terran, I kind of like to occasionally screw around with my opponents by lifting my base off from the start of the match and moving to some natural expansion. I wouldn't recommend that, but it's good to avoid being scouted because it would confuse your opponent. If you're playing a map with an island, it's really fun to move out to that island the second the match starts and do a Destiny Cloudfist build, just to boggle their mind a little. Now, I'm pretty sure all of this dies, and I'm pretty sure it was needless. It was a micromanagement fail on my part. High-sec auto-tracking. What does that do? Increases the range of turrets, which is good. Turrets is good. Turrets is great. Unless we're talking turrets, and that's probably not it. Okay. And look at this guy. Total baller, just staring into the shiny. Staring into the shiny. Let's see, what is she doing? Let's see her income now. Her income is just now tying, which means she is only mining off of this. This is her only mining expansion. If I somehow took this out right now, she would be making no income. I'm pretty sure that's not what I do. I think I only destroy this base 2 times, maybe 3. But yes, you see her completely mined out of the expansion. She has not yet made a 3rd, and all she has is the high yield. But since she doesn't have any other expansion to get resources in off of, then it's not beating the fact that I'm actively mining from 2, with 1 being saturated, almost oversaturated, though I doubt I'll ever reach that point with my horrible SCE production. But you'll see I have 19 Vikings, 19 Marauders, 5 medevacs, and 14 Marines. She now has some Void Rays, and now you see me trying to get this all together, and you're going to see me fail. You are going to see me fail like a boss. And just knowing that it's coming in late. Wow. 1 second. We're moving at 1 frame per second. This is not good. There's got to be a way, some way to increase power. Let's try lowering the graphic again, I guess. I have no idea why this is happening. This is a really good computer. There we go. Now it's only at 9 frames per second. This is ridiculous. I am going to have to look into stuff, because I'm pretty sure the only program I have running is StarCraft and fraps, and this should not be this laggy. And I apologize for posting something this laggy. Gomenosai gozaimasu. Now see, this is something I wanted. I wanted to split the Medivacs up from this. I wanted to use this to annihilate and distract, but I managed to fail and just throw Vikings into the ground. Like a douche. Like a douche. But yet at the same time, knowing I'm probably going to fail, I'm pretty sure I'm making units. Yep, I'm still making Marauders. I'm still producing, because I know I'm probably not going to win with this push. Now, you see me doing this, and I'm like, oh look, I didn't have to land right on the Stargate. Let's stem and focus these down. Why? Cut down the production of the carry. That's my main goal in this little drop. She's yet to react. Here they come. Here comes the Void Rays. 2 of the Stargates are down. I did not notice the third one right now, and due to me being an idiot, I went for the Twilight Citadel. And I moved the Vikings in, but look at this. Look at these ballers. They're just like, nah, you know what? I'm having coffee. I don't want this. Not today. I'm not even sure what I'm attacking. I'm pretty sure I'm focusing down a carrier. Yep, 1 down. So far this attack's been almost a bust. I would not say that it was a complete failure, because I took out 2 of her only producing units. She is yet to make anything besides an air unit. I managed to destroy some turrets, some pylons, maybe even supply blocker. No. But close. As you can see, I'm winning in supply. And now that I notice that these guys were just sitting there, I move them in. Another carrier goes down. So though I'm pretty sure I lost more. Yes, I have. But she's losing the more expensive units. She's losing the expensive buildings. And most importantly, I'd have to say she is losing time. That's probably the greatest thing. She is losing time, in that she needs to rebuild those before she can manage to rebuild what I managed to kill. So let's see. Now, of course, her being Protoss, she doesn't really suffer economic loss. But now, 35 minutes into the game, the opponent decides to scout. And this is something that I really felt like doing. Now, this is what I would call map control when you're playing an only air player. Surround the Zeldonga tower in missile turrets. Odds are your opponent won't be expecting this, and if you're in Bronze League, hopefully your opponent will not react to this quick enough and will take some losses. Now, the spacing's kind of bad. Like right here, if they managed to notice here, they'd only get hit with 1. I should have put some more around here, the choke. But here it is. You see her going for this expansion. Finally, you see her trying to get another mining. Getting another expansion up and running, and I managed to pause the game because I am foolish. But she literally has almost every probe on 3 little patches of high yield, and this one's gone. This one's going, and this one's going. She's chrono boosting at carriers mad. I don't even know how she's funding these. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Who has this kind of money? Bet you Bowser's sponsoring her. He would do that. And look, I've managed to rebuild my carriers. And at this point, I managed to clear these out. Though I do forget to build the actual command center. I'll admit, I was focusing pretty heavy on building units. So though I was building the command center, I'm pretty sure I forgot to move it down right away, which was foolish on my part, because then I have SCVs just sitting. And I am mining this out very quickly. have barely over 1,500 or 1,000, I'd say, minerals left of this expansion. But I got a pretty good ground force. I'm still making Marauders like a fool because I wasn't sure if she'd go 4-gate at this point or if she'd surprise me with Zealots, Stalkers, Dark Templar. But no, none of that. All you see her do is create carrier, and pump out interceptors. Does she even have Wargate tech? No, she does not have Wargate tech. This gateway was not used once during this entire game. So now you see me moving out with my land units. I'm like, alright, the Marauders need to make themselves worth some money. Once you have a ball like this, even if you don't have medevacs, and you know your opponent is only going air, but still you were a fool and accidentally kept pumping Marauders, time to try and scout it a little bit and see if they got another expansion. And unlike the first one, with just cannons everywhere, you gotta try and feel it out. And I was moving here, I noticed the expansion, used stand, got right in the probe line, and she's yet to react, reacts now. Probes are already dead, the Nexus is already down before my units are even attacked. And knowing that they're going to die anyways, I choose to run them down here and deal some more damage. Though this is no longer mining, I'm not aware of that at the time. I do manage to destroy 2 cannons? Yep, 2 cannons and a Nexus. But now you see her moving out. This is where the game gets crazy. Though her units start auto-attacking, she doesn't notice till both Void Rays are down that I have turrets in the center of the map just sitting there. And you can see they're shooting down the interceptors instead of the carriers, but the interceptors cost money. Now you see me move in with my Vikings. I have a lot. I snipe 1, I snipe 2, and you just see me trying to focus fire down carrier. I'm pretty sure at this point my macro failed a little and I started to attack interceptors, which is not good. As you can see, my units are dying. I'm pretty sure this carrier goes down. No, 53 points. I have no actions right now. I am doing nothing. There we go. And the fun part is, in that attack, she didn't make it past this line. There are still cannons sitting. Lost. Once again, I'm still ahead. Now she's lost more units, which means she's building interceptors like crazy. Production. Oh my god. A Zealot. Does she cancel that? I'm pretty sure that gets canceled. Because at no point do I remember fighting a Zealot. But look, she's managed to scrounge enough money to create 4 carriers, a Void Ray. Does she cancel it? I don't know. Maybe. Oh my god, the gateway did something. Look how stubbly he is. He is boss. That is the tops. You now see me mining down here. Finally, after that battle, I was managed to go, oh look, I have a command center not doing anything. And I mined out at this expansion. However, I took out her expansion here. She's now long distance mining, which means she's making no income, no gas, 180, 160. And once I get down here, you're going to see my income jump. She's now taking out those turrets, but there's another row right here, another line of them. I thankfully have that. And let's see how fast this Void Ray goes down. Then you see the turrets working their magic. The turrets were very cost effective at this point. They took out a Void Ray and a carrier on their own, and constantly shooting down interceptors. If you're going, if this match ever happens to you, use the turrets. They will shoot down interceptors, which decreases the attack power of the carriers greatly and costs money. Now you see me with this Vikings, a little mismanagement because they're not attacking the right carrier. So they do manage to snipe that one. And at this point, she realizes, you know what, this is an all-in attack. I've crossed the line. I am out of money. I do not have the money to physically build a Nexus here and create interceptors at the same time. So she goes for an all-in push. I take out one more carrier. And unfortunately, my Vikings don't like attacking the interceptors. And you see my 70 APM dropping out to 20. You see me trying to make my skip Marines as fast as possible. But they're not going to do anything. I'm not producing anything now. Pretty sure the game just went flop. So I know I'm producing things. So it's 4 carriers and 2 units. I have 2 Marauders and 4 carriers in a zone. And 23 interceptors. But we look at the income, 640, 250 to 80. Money-wise, I have a lot of gas, and she has barely enough money to make a pro, let alone anything else. You will not see her make another Nexus. She can only long-distance mine, and her pro number is 20 less than my SCVs, plus I have mules, which is just ridiculous in comparison when it comes to economy, even if I'm only working off of one base. I mean, I'm obviously, look, there's a mule not doing anything here, because I am a troll of StarCraft. I troll the game so that good players look at it free. And once again, turrets in my base. I got it to shoot down the interceptor. Every interceptor I shoot down means she cannot produce more. Now, look, she tries to pull back here. I don't know what the point was. I guess she really wanted to make sure she could get the barracks. I'm going to be perfectly honest at this point. I don't care. I realize I have money. Let's produce Vikings like a beast. I hope. Right now, I'm focusing on making sure I manage to saturate this expansion. I managed to make enough money to sustain an army of turrets. If anything else happens, I can guarantee I will win just by building turrets everywhere. At this stage in the game, she doesn't have the money to switch to a land army. She doesn't have the income to create a Nexus to change her army. So you see me just trying to win. At this point, I have 1 Viking. I'm pretty sure the protection tab broke. But this wall of turrets, now see, this is where she fails a little bit. She slows down a little trying to snipe these buildings, and she just ignores the fact that I have 2 stock rolls right here. I've obviously overclicked my Vikings, which is not something you should do at a professional level, and it's just not right if you're building that much, if you're wasting minerals. But thanks to my turrets and my Viking, I'm pretty sure this one here can snipe. Beautiful. She's down to her 3 carriers, and her money is 8. She has 8 resources, which means she is more than likely going to die. And this carrier goes down just before my Viking dies. But at the same time, kills that Viking. Look, these are shooting the interceptors. So the units. Units, she's down to 5 attacking units. She has 5 interceptors. These carriers are useless if those 5 interceptors go away. And you see them devastate. Bam. And I'm still able to make the Marauders. She sees the Marauders. She sees the Marines. She sees the SCVs. Her last carrier goes down. 8 probes. 1 Zealot. And a Prism. So yes. Good game. And that's that. Still out.